going on, guys? Welcome back to Spawn Point Network. My name is Cameron, and today I just wanted to take a little bit of time away and address our number one point of criticism, that being our podcast runtime length. We've heard about this numerous times, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time away to address this, let you know my opinion from my side as one of the showrunners, and just kind of go into it in a little bit more detail. So that's what this is all about today. If you're here, I love you. Let's dive into the topic at hand. So before we go into the real topic at hand, I want to address a couple things first. First and foremost, I'm making this video as myself, just me, obviously, and this show is run by two creators, myself and, of course, Jason, who's not here with me. I did express to him my intention of making this video, which he agreed with, and I laid out my basic points that I wanted to cover here, but nothing in great detail, and all of which he agreed with. So I just want to put that out there because, like I said, all these comments are coming from me. Jason really has nothing to do with it other than he just thought it was a good idea to get this information out there. Secondly here, I don't want this video to come across as me being unable to take criticism. I want all the criticism we can possibly get. That's how we make the show better, and Jason and I have gotten criticism that we have implemented into the show, and that's going to continue to happen to make the show better and more enjoyable for you, and that's our ultimate goal. So I disagree with the fact that our runtime is too long, and we're going to get into all of that, but I don't want to discourage anyone from still lobbing criticism our way. If there's something we can use from it, we'll certainly do that. I just, basically, I'm making this video to tell my truth and be transparent. I just want to keep it that way. That's how I run the show. I appreciate when creators are transparent with me, so I'm just doing the same thing with this show. So to kind of go into this conversation from a statistics standpoint, I've asked ChatGPT to help me out. Don't judge me. I think we're all doing it nowadays. But I'm going to go ahead and switch scenes over here. And you can see that I have added in all of our show times into ChatGPT. Now, I did the first 7 episodes of the podcast. I did not include the mini podcast we uploaded last week. That was only an hour. That would only benefit my argument. But I left that one out because obviously that would skew the average. So I put all of our main episodes in here, and it gave us an average length of 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 8 seconds. Our median, 226.45. So we're kind of in that 2.5 hour range. And I think this is a perfect time slot for a gaming podcast. In my opinion, I think that's right where I would want the show to be. Just as one quick reference point, I have pulled up here Nextlander Podcast, which is my favorite gaming podcast. Shout out to Darius Rutger on the side for some reason. Don't know why he's sitting there. But Nextlander Podcast is one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to on a weekly basis. And if we look at their episodes here, right here, you can see their duration, 2 hours and 44 minutes from today. I'm an hour and 16 minutes left at a halfway point on this episode. 2 hours and 14 minutes here. This one I'm in a quarter and there's an hour and 46 minutes left. 2 hours and 33 minutes here. 2 hours and 21 minutes here. I'm in on these, so I can't really tell you what the time is. But as you can clearly see, just based on this, we're kind of right in that ballpark with Nextlander, who I'm basically kind of modeling the show after. So it's nothing out of the ordinary for a gaming podcast to run for 2.5 hours. And like I said, I think that we are right where we want to be. And yes, you can state to me that there's a difference between 2.5 hours for a Nextlander show and 2.5 hours for a Spawn Point show. And I totally accept that criticism. Jason and I are just starting. We're 7 episodes into this journey, but I believe we're getting better and better with each episode that we release. I have made content on YouTube for over 12 years at this point, and I will admit to you at a very low level. I'm not saying I'm good by any means at all, but I do have the ability to look at my content critically and take my own personal bias out of it. And that being said, I think we got something really, really good here. I'm very, very proud of the product that we put out every single week. And, to be honest, if I was just a nobody and I was looking for a podcast and I stumbled upon our show, I think I would be very satisfied with what we're putting out, and it's only getting better. So I just am very proud of it. I'm very happy with the work that we're putting in. I'm very happy with the outcome. And yeah, it's a show made for me. So if there's other people out there like me, I think it would be, it's going to hit. It's just we're kind of waiting on our audience. So from a statistical standpoint, I just disagree that our shows are too long. Now, the second point that I want to go into is a difficult one for me to address because I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence in the audience, but I feel like it's relevant. Our channel on YouTube has 36 subscribers. We have 10 subscribers or 10 followers on Spotify, and then maybe 10 total split between Apple and Amazon. So we have a very, very small community. With that being said, a lot of the people that I know that listen to our show aren't frequent podcast listeners. So I just want to give you guys an example of how I listen to podcasts, because I feel like it might be taken the wrong way for some people. So there are basically two places that I will listen to a podcast, or two circumstances. The first is when I'm at home doing a very menial task, or if I'm playing games and want to listen to something, I'll pop on a podcast. The second time is when I'm at work. So to break this down, the similarity between these two things is I'm always preoccupied with something else. A podcast for me is background noise, something that I can be entertained with while I'm doing another task. So we do have a video podcast, but that is not intended to be a sit in front of your computer, set aside 3 hours, and do nothing but stare at our faces for 2.5 hours. That is not the point of having the video version. So I just want to make that very clear. I don't want our podcast to be looked at as a 2.5 hour long video that I'm expecting people to sit and watch. That's not the point. So, like I said, for me, the best time I can listen to a podcast is at work. And, you know, once you get to a certain level of competency in your profession, I've hit this in the retail business, in the culinary business, in the office managerial business, and now as a letter carrier, you always get to that point where you can perform your duties that you're employed to do, and you can shut your brain off entirely. And once you get to that point, it makes an 8-hour day feel like a 17-hour day, and it just becomes miserable. So we need something to fill our brains, and that's where podcasts come in for me. So almost 97% of the time when I'm listening to Nextlander, or I'm re-listening to our show, or I'm listening to 4Player Podcast or Co-op 64 or any of these podcasts, I have an earbud in, my phone is off in my pocket. And then what happens is they'll start to go into a topic about something I'm very interested in. And at that point, I'll take my 10-minute break and pop on the video and watch that segment, or, you know, something like that. And that's how I want our show to be viewed as well. You're not going to get a whole lot out of just staring at us, but if something is of interest and of value, it's worth peeking over. On top of that, it allows me the ability to cut our podcast up with a visual that I can then use as content that I can push to the channel at a later date to kind of fill our content schedule. Jason and I are incredibly busy with life and work and all of these things. I can't make original content for this channel every single day, and neither can Jason, and we can't, even combined as a unit, can't make a new video every single day. So having the video version is an easy way for me to just cut it up and upload it as its own separate video to the channel to kind of keep moving our content forward and hopefully attracting the audience that we're looking for. So hopefully all that makes sense. This should be consumed as a listenable experience more so than a video experience. The show is not designed to be watched from point A to point B. And I understand that, but that's just the podcast formula. That's how it works, and that's what we're trying to create here. Now, the very last point that I want to make in regards to this topic is an easy one. Jason and I are incredibly passionate about video games. We love video games, and at least for me, I'll speak for myself only here, I've never had somebody that's been able to match my level of excitement about new releases, about weird indie games, about all these other things that we talk about on the show. And I don't want to have to set a time limit on what we can talk about and for how long we can talk about that thing. I really cherish the friendship that I'm creating with Jason and building with Jason through our podcast. It does make for some weird moments, when we're at work, because we don't want to go into things too much because we want to save the big discussion for our Sunday recording sessions. But, I'm building a great friendship with Jason through this process, and I feel like I'm making a lifelong friend here, and someone that just genuinely loves the hobby that I love dearly, and I'm sure he feels the same way. It's just very cool that we're able to kind of meet each other at the same level and have these crazy discussions about games that most people don't give a shit about, but we both love and care about. And of course, with that passion just comes the want to splurge about the things that we love. And I'm never going to put a cap on that. I refuse to. So, if an episode goes 4 hours, I'm not going to be disappointed because Jason and I are having a good conversation. We're learning about the things we love, and I cherish that more than the episode length, to be fair. So that's kind of the last point with that. Again, if you guys have criticisms, even regarding this topic, and you want to talk about it further, feel free to leave comments down there. Be more than happy to respond to you. And again, you don't have to agree with me on this topic. I totally understand. But, I urge you that if you can't listen to the podcast from front to back, in your menial tasks or at work or whatever it may be, subscribe to the channel anyway and catch the clips that come out throughout the week and catch the shorts that come out throughout the week. We put a lot of effort into it. And like I said, even if you'll still get our most important takes through those clips. And I think our show is really good. I think our content that we're making is very, very good. And it's only going to get better. So, anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for letting me blab your ear off. Can't wait for episode 8. It's going to be a fun one. We got a lot to talk about this week, so it's going to be good. But anyways, I love you all. Take care of yourselves from Jason and I both. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Can't wait to talk to you in great detail on Monday. But we will catch you guys next time.